What's going on, everybody? Welcome to DVU Podcast. This is the Just Spittballin. Mm-hmm. I think this is, the third show that we're calling it Just Spittballin? I almost forgot to call it Just Spittballin right there. I almost just called it the sports show like we used to. Oh, wow. Geez, so Just Spittballin is on its third, I'm putting air quotes around that, third episode. And there are some pretty big things going on right now. We're going to dive into the brackets a little bit later. A little bit into one Lonzo Ball. What's his first name? LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball's comments. And right now we are going to start off with the hot topic that's been going around, and that is teams in the NBA that are, they're doing really well. They're going to make the playoffs sitting their players. Now, I believe the Warriors have been semi-sitting their players. They play them here and there. The Spurs have been sitting their players, and the Cavaliers have been sitting their players. Now, what is your take on... Oh, I didn't even introduce us. Man, I am all over the place. I am Harry Hancock. With me is Dan Corbett. Jeez, no Elijah today.
Yeah.
Where am I? What day is it? Get a grip, Harry.
I think Saturday.
So, what is your take, Dan, on this whole sitting out phenomenon?
Well, one, it's not new. It's not anything new. I mean, Greg Popovich, he's a great coach. I believe almost every coach in professional sports, whether it's known or not known, they respect Greg Popovich for
He's one of the best.
Yeah, he's basically one of the best. He's if not.
Would you compare him to basically the Belichick of basketball?
Yes. His system is pretty good. His system is not even pretty good. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And he gets consistent work out of everybody.
Exactly.
So he's the kind of coach that he'll, no matter what team he has, they're going to be in it because his style allows for everybody to play really, really well.
Exactly.
Now, that in mind, this whole sitting ordeal has come to a real crossroads because the NBA commissioner has said that he is willing to, I don't know what the punishment 100% is going to be, whether it's on, I guess it would have to be on the team.
Yeah.
He's planning on fining them or something along those lines.
I understand his logic behind it, but I feel like it's kind of, corny. Yes. Yeah. Quote unquote corny.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it wasn't brought into the light. It wasn't brought fully into the light until LeBron started doing it. Until Tyronn Lue started saying, "Hey, LeBron, we need you for the rest of the the year for the playoffs." But if you look at most of the people that have a problem with it, they don't have championship rings. You look at Karl Malone. Karl Malone said, "quote unquote." Yeah. He's played 13 consecutive seasons, playing at least 80 games per season in that 13 years.
Yeah.
Yet he has 0 championships and 2 MVPs. Now he's still a great player. Yeah. He's still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But you can see right there, it takes a toll on your body. So and not only that, but many people don't understand. Last year in the finals, LeBron James played almost the whole game.
Yeah.
All 7 games. So you're playing against a 73-9 team that loves to shoot the ball, that plays a similar style to the Spurs, and you're 31 years old. You're playing 45 to maybe 48 minutes. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
And then you win, and then you have to play the 82 games and.
Then you got to, and LeBron basically, he goes through the entire playoffs every year. So,
exactly.
Now I am on the fence with this because I can see both sides of the argument. I can see why the teams and the players are okay with sitting their star players. I can see why the Cavaliers would want to sit LeBron, and I can see why the Golden State Warriors would want to sit Steph and Clay. However, being a fan, I would be highly irritated if I paid. What are Cavalier tickets going for anymore? They got to be They got to be over $100.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if I paid for a ticket a couple weeks ago, only to find out now that nobody's playing. And that is why I think the league is getting so irritated.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start seeing a ton of backlash. And if they continue with this, it's not new, like you said, but I feel like this year is when they really focused on it because there's no middle ground of a team. You know, the NBA for a while has had the really, really great teams and then a couple layers of nothing and then the crap that they have. You know, the low-seeded teams. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to make any money. These teams that are not good, people aren't going to go to the end of the season, even if they're not starting their big guys. And if the good teams aren't starting their big guys, nobody's going to go to them. So there's no money coming in on any of the teams at that point. So there's no middle ground for anybody to even show up. I understand it takes a toll on them. My issue is you're getting paid millions of dollars. You should understand that that's going to take a toll. You know? It's just one of those things that it's like if LeBron's getting how much money? He's getting what? Is he getting $100 million?
Yeah.
He's getting over $100 million dollars. And you're trying, and I get you want to preserve your body. I can see if I was him, I would want to do that. But as a fan going to the game, basically paying that salary, come on. Just get out there and just take a couple shots for me, at least if I'm there, you know?
Exactly.
And I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if the fines are going to stop these teams from doing this. Are the fines going to stop it?
Yeah. Depends how big the fines are. Like if the fines like 10,000, it's not going to stop anything because what's losing 10,000 when you could win a championship and then get that 10,000 and more back?
Yeah.
So if it's something like, I don't know, like maybe this is ridiculous, but let's say the fine would be 100,000. One, that's still it's not a mill, but though that $100,000 adds up. So like when you lose
especially
that,
overtime,
exactly. So when you lose that, you're like, dang, like I really, I just paid $100,000 just to sit out.
Yeah. And I mean, you're also going to see that issue now because these really good teams like the Warriors, the Cavaliers, the Spurs, they're clinching so early in the season because there's no competition for them. So once they clinch, there's no need for the star players to play anymore. So those teams are going to really have to make the decision on whether they want to eat that, let's say, $10,000 a game for, let's say, another 25 games.
Exactly.
That's, what, 2.5? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And those teams aren't in the business of losing money. So it's going to be a really, really tough situation. I'm interested to see where it goes, but
I just feel as if this wouldn't be a problem if the competition in both the West has competition, but it's not like it used to be. And the East, there is no competition. Like, there's nothing. And that's why I was hoping for Kevin Durant to come over to the Boston Celtics. Because low-key, I would have loved to see like Isaiah Thomas and Kevin Durant, coming over. But
I think I'm just getting tired of these self-proclaimed super teams.
Yeah.
Because what's the competition rate at? Like, what's the point of watching the game if you know who's going to win every single time? And I get it. These guys want to win championships, but you got to provide something good for the audience, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's going to be tough. And, I mean, the league kind of set themselves up for this with allowing these kinds of teams to be made.
Yeah.
So, they're going to have to work that one out. The next thing that we want to talk about is the NCAA brackets. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of listeners out there, I don't think there's a good bracket left.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the top three teams that had the highest percentage of in the brackets, people saying they were going to win. I'm pretty sure all three of them are out with. That would be Villanova, Duke, and I'm not sure if Louisville was the third, but there was a third one that I think is out now. But,
I mean, I would think somebody people would put North Carolina back up.
North Carolina.
I mean, they're still in it as far as they're still in it.
Yeah. You have. I mean, right now, you have Gonzaga is a 1 seed. They're still in it. North Carolina, they're still in it, and Kansas is still in it.
Yes. That's funny because everybody was coming up to me saying, "Hey, yeah, who do you have for winning?" And I said, "Well, I have Kansas because I like Kansas. a little bit, and Gonzaga. That's how. Yeah. Gonzaga. I kept calling it Gonzaga, but Gonzaga. And the reason why is because like if you look at March Madness, that's where teams that usually don't make their name for themselves, that usually you don't know of, they make a name for themselves. And I knew one, Duke wasn't going to win because I felt like Duke was immature and they're not ready, especially Grayson Allen. Two, I knew that Villanova wasn't going to win because if you look at like the way the tournaments run year after year, I haven't seen a team that went back to back.
Yeah.
Like when Duke won, then the next year they didn't. I don't even think were they in the Final Four.
I don't believe.
I don't even think they were in the Final Four. It was Villanova.
Yeah. and I mean I'm from Philadelphia, so Villanova is like that's a team you're supposed to worship, all that stuff. But I mean, anybody with eyes could have looked at that team and seen that they were not good enough to make it in this tournament. This tournament is so grueling. And last year, they had good depth. I think they had way better depth than they had this year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's basically what their whole thing was last year. After the starting five came off, the next five that came in were good. They were good enough to play on the court with the other teams. And, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think these guys were just ready yet. It's like what you said, they weren't mature enough yet.
Exactly.
But... So you think Kansas?
I had Kansas. All right, if I would have made a bracket, which I was so close to doing, but I didn't want to. I would have had Creighton because I would have had one of my brackets would have had Creighton.
Yeah.
Because one, I know one of their point guards, and he went to my high school. Man.
Okay.
So like it's just
that's your thing.
Just cheer them on. And. The other two were going to be Kansas and Gonzaga because Gonzaga like they've been okay even when Kelly Olynyk was on that team.
Yeah,
and people have been iffy about them, but I'm like
back in the Adam Morrison era.
Yeah, because everybody was like, oh, Adam Morrison, he's a god, and he went to the NBA, he just fell apart.
Dude, he was on the cover of the I think it was 07 NCAA video game. Adam Morrison
definitely was, and now
he's not really. I think last I heard he was on the Bobcat, or it was Charlotte. They were the Bobcat.
Wow, that's like 2 years ago.
I can't believe I just called them the Bobcats. I haven't been the Bobcats in a while, but Now, I was hearing that people did not think that Gonzaga was going to be as good as they are playing. What's their down low guy, the big man with the beard? I forget his name. But that dude, he's solid. He's a big boy, too. He's thick. He's not like just tall and lanky. He's thick. So I don't know. I hope they do good. I hope they go pretty much all the way because I like that they were kind of more of like they're in one seed, but they were thought of as an underdog in a way. You know what I mean? Like nobody really expected them to do much. But I mean, if I had to take my guesses as to who was going to get to the final, I would say probably Kansas, and I don't think Gonzaga's going to make it the whole way. I'm going to say Kansas and possibly Arizona. They're a 2 seed, man. And they're flying under the radar. Let's see who they beat. They beat North Dakota, who was a 15 because they were a 2, and St. Mary's, they were a 7. Now they have Xavier, who's 11. The 2 seeds typically, and they got lucky because Florida State lost to Xavier. This 2 seed has had a pretty easy ride so far.
Yeah.
So the real test is going to be if they beat Xavier dealing with Gonzaga or West Virginia, but I can't see a reason why they wouldn't. Now, UCLA is still in this, and this will transition us to our last item of conversation. That would be one Lonzo Ball, and that would be his father, who has kind of gone
nuts.
Little nuts, yeah. He's gone a little crazy. I don't know what his end game is. What does he have an end game for this?
I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I feel like one, he's being a supportive dad. I respect him for doing that.
Yeah,
because there's not a lot of like dads out there who support their children.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin and all that, and who's like very active.
Yeah.
In their children's lives, but there is a line to be drawn when you talk about other fathers' sons, because if somebody else were to talk about Lonzo Ball, even though he's like, well, my son's the greatest son in the world, which in all justice, you have every right to believe that.
Yeah,
you can't really cross that line and talk about somebody else's
other people's.
Yeah. And not only that, but some of the statements he's made,
they're outright foolish.
Yeah. His reasoning behind it, like the one reason he said he was like, I was watching some news channel, and it had the guy was asking, the interviewer was asking LeVar, hey, like, why are you like so much different than your sons? Like, your son seems so quiet, and you're the loud one, and you're the dad. And he says, well, I pay their bills. I do this for them. So whenever they come up to me and say, hey, Dad, I got the bills, and I got my high school. I mean, I got my education, and I got everything taken care of. Then that's when I'll take a backseat. But until then, I'm in their life.
Yeah, he has to be in their life,
which is understandable. But saying that you are that Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan, has no shot against you.
You're full of it.
Yes, he's. Oh,
I don't. I just don't understand. And I get that you're just trying to make a name for your kid. But really, are you the one that needs to be making a name for your kid? The guy's playing good. Lonzo Ball is playing really well. He's going to be a top draft pick probably. So, for the only problem that I see with all of this, you could say what you want, and these people can get all pissed off and everything like that. But that's going to cause a real issue come draft time, because these teams know they're getting the son. But they're getting the dad, too. And he's successfully going through the line and pissing off the hierarchy of the NBA. He's going through Michael Jordan, LeBron James. He's going through the list right now of all the top players and just pissing them off. So what team is going to want to put that type of, cancer on their team? The son may be the quietest kid. He may be the nicest guy in the world. But when you got somebody attached to you like that, and that brand attached to you, you're gonna have a real issue.
Well, I don't think he'll have an issue with like a team, because there was a video I saw on social media, and he was in it saying that he tells his son it's a kind of a different side of LeVar that nobody sees. Yeah, and he tells his sons. He said to whoever was videotaping, he said, I usually tell my sons that if you win the game, don't put all the praise on yourself. Give it to your team and say, oh yeah, my teammates helped me do this and do that. But if you lose, put all the blame on you and be like, well, I had 50 points and we lost by 2, but I didn't have 52 that would have tied it up. Or I didn't have 53 that would have won that game. Yeah. So
So is this all a show then by him, just to get his name out there?
Probably. You never know. That's something. That's the thing about LeVar. You don't know what to expect from him. Like, one minute he's like, yeah, my son is better than Steph Curry. Then the next minute, yeah, my son is better than Steph Curry, and I'm better than Michael Jordan. Yeah. And then my other son will be better than LeBron James' son, which I can understand his logic. Yeah. Because if you think about it, LeVar averaged 2 points in college. Yeah. That gives his son like look at his son Lonzo. He's averaging 14 and what, 8 assists or 7 assists. So he's already past his dad. Yeah. Now where LeBron James, he's the self-proclaimed king of the NBA right now. He's arguably like one of the best ever to play the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. And if not, he's close to being the best ever.
Yeah.
So his son has some big shoes to fill if he wants to be like, oh yeah, I want to be great in this now. I want to be better. So the logic behind it is I understand it, but the way in which he went about saying it,
it's not really so much that his son is. He didn't set his son up better for success than LeBron's son. It's just a matter of LeBron will always be so great that his son, no matter how great he may be, is going to be overshadowed by his dad. Exactly. And it's kind of weird because Lonzo Ball and the other two, I forget what the other two boys' names are, but their dad wasn't great. But right now in the media, he is overshadowing them. Yeah. Which you're setting your kid up for, nobody's talking about Lonzo Ball, they're talking about his dad. And if you want to get drafted really high and you want to really make a name for yourself and get that number one pick or whatever, you're going to want people to be talking about you and not your family member. Exactly. So, I don't know. I think you like the way he talks.
No, I love his logic, but I love his logic behind things that you could actually, like, if you just listen to it and just, like, try to, like, understand it, then that's like, for example, like when he was talking about how, like just now, how his son will, be better than him and blah, 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 and how he tries to be in his son's lives and all that, and how he pays the bills, so he's going to, do whatever he has to do. But when he says ridiculous things like, take my son and put him on Golden State and take Steph Curry off of Golden State and watch they'll win 2 championships back to back instead of 1. Yeah. Like, that's idiotic. Yeah. Because your son hasn't even finished his first year of college yet.
He's not even close to being proven.
And by the way, many people don't know, but Stephen Curry, I think he averaged 20
at Davidson.
At Davidson. And and
so
he's I don't know.
And this is my own personal opinion, and I think I'm just I just don't like people that are big time show offs. And all my friends will attest to this. Like, if in the NFL, like when somebody scores a touchdown and they do like that dance, I hate the dance afterwards. Like Marshawn Lynch was my celebration idol because he just shook hands and walked off the field, and that's like the kind of thing that I love. So all of this like hyping yourself up, I just kind of want LeVar Ball to just stop with it. Let the kid play basketball. Let him have fun. He's in college. Let him move on to the NBA because he's sure as hell good enough, and just let it be. You can be a good, loving dad, but you don't have to, crap in NBA past and current players' faces while going through the whole process. So, I don't know. It's some of these people just got to get a grip, I think. NBA, everybody, the draft, or not the draft, the brackets. Yeah. All these players and all these people. Unbelievable. So before we leave, I'll take one more look at the bracket, and you tell me at least who do you think is in the Final Four?
Final Four.
If you want here, I'll move my computer over so you can see. I'll scroll up. So that's the top part of the bracket. The next game is Wisconsin versus Florida, Baylor, South Carolina, Kansas, Purdue, and Oregon, Michigan. So out of Wisconsin, Florida, Baylor, South Carolina, which one of them is going to be in the Final Four? Only one of them can. I already got mine. I'll take Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor's going?
I can see Baylor.
Okay. The next four is Kansas, Purdue, Oregon, and Michigan.
Kansas.
So we got Kansas and Baylor. Now, the West is Gonzaga, West Virginia, Xavier, and Arizona.
Going with Gonzaga.
Going Gonzaga?
Yeah.
I'll say Arizona. This is just for the record for anybody when I come out looking like a genius. And then the last is the South, and that's North Carolina, Butler, UCLA, and Kentucky. That's a tough one because you have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 there, and all 4 of them are very good teams.
I'll give you 2. I think it comes down to North Carolina or Kentucky. I don't have UCLA.
I think Kentucky. I'm feeling Kentucky.
Yeah, like they've always been consistent.
Yes,
they've always been.
No matter what, like every year, the recruiting they're always consistently good. So basically, the only one we don't agree on is the Gonzaga Arizona. So we both say Baylor, Kansas, Kentucky, and you say Gonzaga, and I say Arizona for your final four of the NCAA bracket. Hopefully next week when we do our show, we'll see what the deal is. We'll make our next predictions for everybody. And, that'll be pretty good. We'll have Elijah here, so we'll get that done too. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're going to wrap this show up. For the Just Spitballing, I am Harry Hancock. With me, as always, is Dan Corbett.
Thank you.
We will see you all later. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, email us at dvupodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us or friend us on the Facebook. We are The Podcast Club at Del Val. Let us know what you think of the shows, and that's where you can find a lot of our shows. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you and talk to you next week. See you.